This is probably my 6th trip over to Africa between picking up my oldest son, who's adopted from Ethiopia, have a biological daughter and biological son as well, 7, 6, and 4. Have never climbed Kili, have always wanted to, really since college without really knowing the difficulty of it. I've learned though since doing some research here. Excited to go.
Yeah, Dr. Raul Serrano, and
also you have
yeah, my little one here. This is our youngest, Asa, and I'm a chiropractor. Just excited to go on this trip.
I'm Dan Graham. You're all right. I'm Dan Graham. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, moved down to Florida about 3 years ago. Been involved with Man Up for a little over a year, so very excited to go.
Matt McKinney, born in upstate New York, bounced around the Northeast, ended up in New Jersey, came down to Tampa about 16, 17 years ago, been here ever since. Financial advisor, ran into Dr. Serrano, who's on the trip, who told me about Man Up and Go and how it's raising awareness for fatherless kids in Uganda, which kind of coordinates right with Tampa Urban Young Life, where I am the board chair, and we try to help eradicate generational poverty through the love of Christ. Especially, but most of our kids are from single parent households, and primarily the missing parent is the father. So anyway, excited about the trip, excited about seeing Uganda and seeing what's going on over there.
So my name is Eric Kennedy, and I'm down here in Florida for about a year and a half now. I've always wanted to do missions trips overseas. I've always done stuff locally, but I've always wanted to go overseas. So I just recently heard about Man Up and Go about 6 months ago, and can't wait to go on the trip.
Talk about that. What excites you about the trip?
You know, for me, my wife Jessica, and myself, ever since when we got married and reading the Bible, verse in James that talks about true religion and taking care of the orphans and widows, that's something that popped for us, stuck with us, and then when I had the opportunity to go up and team up with Man Up and Go and go serve the orphans and widows, I mean, what else is there than that?
And you have a tie to Africa, right? What's that tie?
So our oldest son, 7, Evan, we adopted from Ethiopia.
And then you go to Africa, where it's got to be completely different.
So this will be my 4th trip to Africa. I think what excites me, it'll be my first time to Uganda, and the opportunity to go with the men that I'm going with. I think it'll be something we'll always remember. Just the idea of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro is going to be challenging. And then what I really like about it is we raise money, but then we get to see the outcomes of that. What Man Up has done in the different villages.
What am I most nervous about? Well, I guess like engaging the culture over there. I've never been to Africa before, so I really don't know what to expect as far as who I'm going to talk to, and some of the customs. I think that's probably what I'm most nervous about, is adapting to their culture and to their way of living.
Just fallen in love with Africa.
And is there anything that makes you nervous or apprehensive? Or?
Jeff Ford's leadership really makes, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's a fair point that he makes.
Awesome crew, and I don't know everybody, but the crew from Tampa, everyone's fired up. We've been watching the Chris Long documentary here. I think a lot of nervous energy. It's almost like spring training before opening day, that sort of thing, where you get together and you're just getting ready to go, compete together. And I just can't imagine the bonds that we're going to have after these next 2 weeks. When you go through something together of this nature and kind of leave it all out there, it's going to be awesome.
Over the last few weeks here, going into this, we have picked up the pace, and the training has gotten pretty brutal. But living in Florida, there's not much we could do for altitude, so we just kick our behinds and hope for the best when we're on the mountain.
That's parting words.
Could use the prayer for sure. If anybody sees this video beforehand,
I'll come back a changed person.